So this is the testing and runner sync for January 6th, 2021. And Rayana, we kicked off with just talking about splitting this call up actually to have it focused on runner, as you and I now have a one-on-one setup. So we'll record that as a separate sync and hand this one back over to just you and Darren. So I think that covers topic one. And then do you want to take it from there?
Yeah, I just want to share this epic I already shared with you, James, I think yesterday. And I mentioned this to you, Darren, I think a week ago or maybe last year. I don't even know anymore. Anyways, I finally created this epic that I'm going to try to use to track the things I'm working on so that you can throw any items that need design so that we have a central place to communicate about what I'm doing next and what is the priority for us. Of course, we can discuss this synchronously and also doing a one-on-ones, but just so you know, this is how I'm tracking now. So for context, this is what I'm working now, the runner item. So everything that is below the cut line, I haven't started yet. And the idea is that, yeah, once we have a design proposal that is ready to be weighed by engineers or ready to move to the next step, we remove this from my epic and add to the relevant epic. You can add a milestone, do your whole thing. But I want to try this out, see how it goes. But I think it's important to kind of try to have this transparency about my plan. And another thing, this is also an item I'm used to. I think I showed this to you before, but just so you know, I create weekly plans about everything I'm doing. So if you're curious or if you think that I should reprioritize something other than, for example, learning, understanding GitLab runners this week, let me know. That's how I'm planning on organizing things. Do you have any specific questions about how we can operate, how we can use this system?
No, this is super organized. The only question I have is, in looking at which is really well done. I love the cut line. That's pretty cool on the epic. Trying to think for a second how to bring this topic in here. Jackie had created a couple of issues around us needing to do, I guess, both problem and solution validation for that overarching enterprise and epic. So I need to get back there. So I don't know if we want to capture the fact that at some point, maybe starting next week, we actually have to start thinking about scheduling scheduling interviews and all that stuff. If that also goes into this view, that's the only question I have. But this makes a lot of sense. This is perfect.
Yeah, I think it's fine unless what you're talking about is this one. I feel like if there is no issues, it's fine. If it's not there in the list, on the list, yeah, you can communicate that is happening. I'm also fine if you want to create an issue just for the sake of having a placeholder there.
Yeah, and let me kind of verbalize kind of where my head is, and you kind of tell me what makes sense. So right now we have the epic you just linked, right? Let me make sure it's the right one. This big gory epic, right? This big, huge behemoth. Oh, this is research initiatives one. Okay, gotcha. So you did the research one. So this has, so there's actually a research epic as well. Interesting. Okay. So I think there's also a different one for runners. I need to find that from Jackie.
Yeah, but anyway, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but just at a high level, like right now on your epic, the 5114, you have as the first design item the instance-wide runner registration token design task, right? And that's kind of a real tactical thing. It's kind of like we're doing it because of security, et cetera, et cetera. But realistically, what we wanted to do was to step back and kind of look holistically and long-term about, as we talked about, what we wanted, right? And we have all of this information. And as a matter of fact, just before, and I apologize for this. I didn't realize it was going to become a research type of customer meeting. I got pulled into a meeting with one of our very, very large customers here in the United States, one of our very large enterprise customers. They manage GitLab at scale. They manage runners at scale. They have multiple teams. And when I was brought into the meeting by the solutions architect or the technical account manager, it quickly became, oh, this is really about understanding the enterprise management needs for the runner. So I have to go back I don't have time today, and I meant to do it before the holidays, but things kind of got away from me with the timing. I needed to go back and grab that video, pull it into Dovetail, and started like linking it. But there's a lot of great content there in terms of their requirements around enterprise admin. So anyway, long story short, I know we need to organize that enterprise admin epic, the current issues, and then decide, okay, how do we now potentially validate the problem if we still need additional problem validation? What's the next step in terms of a potential solution proposal, right? And then the solution validation. And I know there's all that work we need to. So I just want to let you know that that's in the head. And so we just need to figure out when we should start thinking about slotting it in, because it's a lot of, design and research work.
Okay, that's awesome. And I think it's fine if once you create this initiative and then we have like a place to have this type of discussions, if they're high level or if they're really technical, small designs, you're free to just throw something on this epic and then tell me, hey, Rayana, I want you to look into this. And yeah, if not, let's just keep having a discussion about what's up. Because that's also another reason why I try to track my work like this, and that's why I worked with Jackie and I, is that there's so many big items that sometimes it's difficult to visualize where I am on the workflow, but also talk about capacity. So if I'm working on a big validation item, I'm probably not gonna have a lot of time to work on 5 technical design items for 2 teams. So I think it's also going to be a good exercise for us to see how many things am I doing, with the time I have available, and what are the low-hanging fruits, for example, for validation or for prototyping, and how we can organize that.
Can I ask a quick question then? Does it make sense for us to pause on doing a technical design for the automated reset token issue and spend the next few days, not tomorrow, because it's just too much craziness. You know what I mean? Our next focus days worth of work on the stepping back and understanding where we might want to go with enterprise management. And then we say, okay, we know where we might want to go. Here's how this reset might fit into that. Does it make sense for us to pause the tactical and do the strategic?
To me, it makes sense. I think it's a matter of prioritization. What do you think is the most important? I feel like with the runner, my goodness, what's the name of it? We just said it. The registration token, that issue. What I would generate there, it's something that I can solve in, well, whatever, 1-2 days, if I have the time to sit and then just break issues down, do the designs and have the discussions. What I feel there is that I need to understand the backend input, and that's where I'm not getting so much there. That's actually one of the points I want to add here. What's the best way for me to stay informed about these backend decisions and get to know the product rather than just pinging people and waiting for their response? So if I can run, you understand, if I can just get their input on that small technical problem, I'll generate the design, we jump to the next point. But if that takes like, I don't know, 5-6 days, then indeed I could spend my time talking about understand the bigger problems with you.
I think based on what you just said, my gut feel is that we should start strategic. And here's why I'm thinking that. So we step back, it won't happen today. It's already crazy with updates, right? We step back, we organize the overall enterprise admin thingy, right? And the reason I say we step back and do the overall big one is that once we kind of, both you and I understand how we might design this new enterprise management solution, then we can have one sync meeting with the right folks on the runner team, the right backend engineers, and say, versus us trying to like, hey, reset registration token, do we have a backend? Do we need to do backend API work for this? This other thing, do we need to backend API, this, right? Here's the vision, and we can just go through one sync meeting, and we can say, okay, if you want to do version offset, that's all new functionality. If you want to do registration token, that's existing functionality. We just have to link in. If you want to do this, that's, you know what I mean? We can just do it one time. Like, and that way it's a really good solid knowledge sharing for you as well. And it won't solve every problem, because obviously there will be new things that come up as we go through iterations that we wouldn't cover in the big one thing. But I think that would be I feel as if that would be the best use of everyone's time to get everyone kind of grounded. Like, here's the current vision Rayana and Darren have. they can poke holes in it, and by poking holes, they also give you that brain dump, that tactical knowledge brain dump at the same time.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's discuss how we can do that for next week and realign on the priorities. That sounds good.
What I will sign up to do then is, it's actually on my own personal to-do list. I don't typically create another issue because I have too many like floating lists. But looking at my crazy calendar, my goal was to focus on the enterprise management stuff tomorrow and potentially Friday. So I'll make sure I block off some time on my calendar to do that. And then once I get my head clear, then I'll ping you with, hey, here's what it is. And I don't know if I'm actually going to organize it any better than it's currently is organized, but we'll see what happens after I spend a few hours with it.
Okay. And also for disclosure, I'm doing the manager training, and now I'm doing also another training for the UX managers, and I think some of the devs and engineering managers are doing it on, I think, something related to difficult conversations. So next week, I have 2 trainings to tackle, and I think most of my mornings are gonna be on that. So if you want my attention synchronously, look at my calendar now, because I'm gonna block focus time.
All right, so I'm not gonna commit to anything in terms of blocking the calendar until I actually block my time and actually, switch gears. But yeah, thank you for the heads up.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I think that's next point is James.
Yeah, I mean, we've used this in the past to talk about some research items. One thing that's come up more and more as we start thinking cross-stage is how do we get more of those SCM users who aren't using Verify into Verify. I actually had a great conversation with my team about this yesterday, and they made the point of, I mean, it's always been an assumption of mine that they need to set up a runner first. That's always the prerequisite. But we have functionality in testing that doesn't require a runner. All you have to do is upload test reports and you'll start to get Verify features enabled. So we want to explore through a survey of existing customers or conversations with existing customers who are SCM customers but not Verify. Is that functionality that we can get them to tap into? And that'll help inform for us, hey, we need to enable an API to get that, make that available to them so that they could upload from their existing external CI solution and start to expose them to some of those Verify bits and pieces, especially then the things we build on top of those reports that are premium and ultimate tier. And in the notes here, which I'm not sharing my screen, but I'll verbalize. I also saw an anecdote in product that of self-managed, a good chunk are on AWS. So just curious about, is there an opportunity for us to just spin up an AMI and make it available so it's super simple for somebody to start with a runner if the rest of their infrastructure is already in AWS, to do something as simple as uploading those reports if we don't go down the API route. The other one that we've looked at is, even if you're not using Verify for anything else, what about code quality? You could get that scan done with the runner that way. And maybe it's a specific code quality AMI that's built on top of a super lightweight runner so that they don't have to spend too much on that. So just some thoughts that I had and wanted to talk with this group about. How do we go validate these? What's the best path forward for us as we explore this opportunity?
I'm not going to speak to the validation, but in terms of the opportunity for the self-managed installs in AWS, a couple of different conversations that James you may want to get plugged into. I forget which channel it's in, but the growth team, is it growth?
I think it's
one of the engineers in growth has been doing a bunch of work with trying to automate a setup of runners on AWS. Mm-hmm. I forget the chap's name. I'll find it after this. And then in parallel to that, gosh, what's his name now? Why all of a sudden his name escapes me? He works with the Alliance team. It's completely drawing a blank. Darren Savoy has been doing a bunch of work on, I think, on CloudFormation templates for setting up the runners in AWS. He's really keen on that because of the anecdote you mentioned in terms of heavy usage on AWS for self-managed. He's keen on that whole AWS automation. So there's work that Darren Savoy has been doing. The fulfillment team, the growth team, sorry, pinged me back in November. So they're doing some work on that as well. And then the third leg of the work that's being done in this space was actually being done by the runner team some time back, where we created a some automation setting up a virtual machine with all that good stuff. First on GCP, but then we were going to change the pattern for AWS. So I think you just I think you should probably get plugged into those 3 different conversational threads and kind of see where it goes. But at least that's that piece of your
Awesome.
agenda. And ping me on async and I'll try to find the right folks to connect to.
Cool. Do you have stats on where we're making the most traction there? Like, is one of those definitely further ahead that we can get plugged into to try to, help guarantee some success?
I kind of, for me personally, I kind of, my gut, how should I say this? I'm thinking, I'll ping you. I think the pattern that Georgie created, which is on the runner team, that pattern with using, and I'll find the repo and give it to you after this call, is the way I'm thinking about it, that we should go. It doesn't mean that like the Terraform patterns or the CloudFormation patterns aren't usable as well, but obviously you have to maintain the templates. Let's start with the Georgie pattern first. I'll give you that repo. I can't recall if we did additional work to get it going on AWS or if we start after we did GCP. But I'll ping you that repo and you can see where that takes you, and then let me know, hey, Darren, that path doesn't look up. Let me go on the CloudFormation or the Terraform path.
Cool. That'd be great. Yeah, I mean, anything we can do to help get somebody using a little bit of verify, even if you don't want to bring everything over, just start one additional job, one job in a pipeline to get code quality and run that and see how it works and see how it integrates into your merge requests. That's I think a nut that we can figure out, or nut we can crack, and get some people exposed to some of that goodness that verify provides. Cool. We might
tackle your research question though.
What I'm thinking research wise is either survey, or maybe the next time the cab actually gets together, we might be able to survey some of those folks or drop a survey into there of, if you're using SCM but not verify, what are bits of functionality or what are problems that you are looking to solve that your current solution doesn't? Are those things that we can do without you migrating a pipeline? I've been down that road of moving CI systems, and moving all of those pipelines is always the hardest part, right? You have to replicate all of that. That's super painful. If it's additive instead, is that an incentive enough for them to try it? That might be worth exploring a little bit more. Awesome. That answers my question. I'll run down those 3 leads as far as the runners go. And we'll start some of our own research on just exposing an API to upload those files as well, and see if that might be our minimum viable change there of getting more folks using Verify. The question is, does it count as using Verify if you don't actually deploy any runners, but you get to use the features? I guess we'll find out. All right. Cool. Well, I think that's it for this one. So the next call on a Wednesday is going to be just Darren and Rayana, or I can cancel this call because I think I'm the organizer for it, and then you two can book something that works better for you. I know this is a little bit later in the day for you too, because Juan and I were further west in the States. So you don't have to worry about our early mornings anymore, and you can do this even earlier if that works better for your calendars.
I'll look into our calendars and I'll send something new. Also, I'll create a new agenda because I know that you suggested, James, to create a new one, and now I see how long this document is.
It's pretty big.
And I'll reference back to this.
Yeah, as long as we just link back to it, I think we'll be good to go. Cool. Well, I'll cancel this one. I'll get this video uploaded to Unfiltered though for us, so anybody else can catch up as they need.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, folks.
Cheers.
See you later. Bye.